Okay, mic test. All right, so doesn't seem to be much tonight. Or not many people are here, but that's all right. Let me just go on with it. So, been a lot of updates on the Kick Vic stuff. On like the whole, which side you on with the Vic Mignogna case? Are you on for the people that are being conned out of all their money to fund to fund a slap suit for like fraudulent reasons? Or are you on the side of the social justice warriors that are just like, well, in this case, they're more right than the opposition, to be perfectly honest with you at this point. Like, I don't get how you can go ahead and claim that this guy, Vic, didn't do nothing. He's a good boy, innocent. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I also just didn't do a sound test tonight, so I'm just going to type in the chat real quick. If there's any audio issues, just let me know. Okay. So, how to recap this? Like, there's so many events that keep happening with this thing that it's hard to keep track of everything that's been going on. So I guess I'll just talk about what happened today rather than just try to recap everything all at once. That's what I got prepared for. I also got some of Nick's kind of responses to it. Vic is a weird hill to die on. This is from the Caesar the Ape in the chat. Vic is a weird hill to die on other than for financial and fame reasons. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that sentiment. Because what else are they doing here with this in anyway? Also, hello to Keith Richardson. There's nothing to back this up. Oh, also, I will be going over the TDMA letters in this stream because it's about time I did to show you the dumb stuff that Ty sent out to these defendants. Really, really bizarre things that he's been saying. I also go over the lawsuit as well. At the very least, I'll show you the pile of crap comic that's just really retarded. All right, let's just go to this article, mainstream article that was printed today. It's in the Dallas paper. Let me just switch things here. All right. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So the Dallas News has come out with a bit of a statement. Anime gets its Me Too movement in clash between Dallas area voice actors. Okay. A lot of people are saying this article written by Sharon. I can't pronounce this. It's even in English. I can't pronounce it. I can't even say it's Ford. I'm just too hard tonight. Sharon Grisby. I can't. Can anyone pronounce this? Grisby? Why can't these people just have normal names? I don't know. Anyway, so a lot of people are saying this is biased. I don't really think it is all that biased. There's some issues that could have been addressed in it, but overall, I don't think it's that bad of a piece. The main issue I have here is I don't like this whole Me Too thing attached to it. Me Too's kind of retarded because they don't really separate. It's just this. A lot of it doesn't really separate people who just make a lot of it just conflates a whole bunch of different sex issues in Hollywood. Like, for example, this if you go ahead and you sleep with a producer to have a greater role, that's a business transaction. And moral, disgusting business transaction, but you go ahead, the producer says, hey, you want to lead in my movie, just stay on the couch with me. I'll get your role, and I'll get you another role in this other movie, too. Yeah, no, you're not a victim in that case if you take that offer up. Like, I don't care how much pressure he puts on you. That's not like coercion. That's just a bribe right there. Yeah, it shouldn't be legal. It should be talked about, but let's not claim that you're a victim there. But as far as Vic Mignogna goes, all these sexual assault allegations, that's a different territory there. Like, that's just not something that makes sense to go ahead and say, oh yeah, Vic's a good boy. He didn't do nothing. Give me 1 second, please. All right. Where was I? Go. Sorry about that. Bit of dead air there. Trying to I guess, yeah. No excuse for that one. But in any event, yeah. So I don't like the title of the piece too much. It attaches itself to Me Too for no reason. It can be written without this kind of sensationalism right here. It's a problem because it's going to turn off a lot of readers from the actual story, actual events that unfold. But let's just get right down to it. In the role of English dubbed anime, Grapevine resident Vic Mignogna is a voice to be reckoned with. Mignogna once again voiced fan favorite Broly in the latest installment of the Dragon Ball Z series, and the movie, released in January, skyrocketed to a 22.7 million US box office in less than a week. It looked like 2019 would be another can't miss year for the actor. But the wildly successful opening also unleashed a torrent of chatter about the 56-year-old actor's long-running alleged. Hey, 1 second, please. All right. Long rumored alleged inappropriate behavior, such as aggressive kisses, hugs, and unwanted sexual advances with women. And by the way, this is true. This is not some bullshit they came up with. The reality is that these rumors around Vic Mignogna have been going on for years, at least since 2006. There was even a rumor panel that Vic Mignogna had in 2010 about this kind of behavior. Like, there's just no doubt about it that he knew that there was a bad air of publicity about him. And yeah, like I said before, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, the narrative has been by the I Stand With Vic people that, oh, this just suddenly happened, either if they're a little bit more honest, it might say 2017 because it started to kind of flare up a little bit then. But they'll be like, oh, it happened in 2018, late 2018, early 2019, right after the movie was produced. That just all these people all of a sudden just came out of freaking nowhere. They just made a bunch of stuff up. Caesar has more to say in the chat. Vic himself was clumsy during the live questioning. Said and revealed too much. He has fucked up too many times. That was it for me. He's just famous, sheltered, and dumb. Yeah. A lot of people say that Vic did really great and really well in the hearing. That's bullshit. He didn't do a guy who goes to a hearing and messes up some key elements. Like, there was basically two things that Vic Mignogna had to do. He had to deny all the allegations and not identify himself as a public figure. What did he do? He confirmed that he's a public figure. He went into the things about oh yeah, I can't mention anyone who's more famous than me. And he also said, and he confirmed, Jamie Marchi's story when Vic pulled her hair. That's some great deposition work there, Vic. Going ahead. I'm getting some complaints about the mic mic being trash. Text me your. Okay, so apparently someone's asking me to text them. No, I will not be texting you for any reason. No, thank you. That's retarded. Also, apparently Kenny Jones is in the chat. I don't think that's the real Kenny Jones, but that's a cute attempt. That's real adorable. Moving on. Where was I? Oh yeah, Vic's an idiot. Yeah, it's like there's just no doubt about actually no, I won't say that Vic is an idiot necessarily. He just wasn't trained right because Ty definitely is a retard. Like, Ty just says the dumbest shit constantly. And of course Vic's gonna pump him up as the best lawyer ever. Hashtag fear the beard. And what has Ty Beard done really? Well, we'll get to that because it's a funny thing that is revealed in this article here about Ty's ineptitude. All right, so last paragraph I was on. All right, so far there hasn't really been that much that's been this great biased hit piece that I Stand With Vic is going on about. I don't get why they would think this way. But, well, actually, no, I do. I absolutely get why they think this way. They think that Vic is some kind of heroic figure. Like they're virtually making him into like a Christ-like figure. He died. He got slandered for our sins or whatever. The SJWs just he told the SJWs the truth, but they wouldn't listen. Stuff like that. Vic Mignogna is none of those things. He just isn't. He's just not an honest guy. He's not a guy. He's a guy who, as soon as a scandal, a hashtag scandal gets his way, he hires a PR team to defend himself, and he talks out of both sides of his mouth. Says the Risen Bull Rangers one thing in private chat messages, goes ahead in public and says another thing, admits to some of the allegations, but oh no, none of them are true. Don't believe any of them. I was just I wasn't kind enough to them. I should have just I should have realized that not everyone wanted a kiss or a hug. Other bullcrap like that. And then we get revelations like, oh, you know, whatchamacallit. Revelations such as, oh yeah, he was like one of his security guys saying that, you know, he was in his hotel room with two unaccompanied 14-year-olds. What's up with that? It's some Michael Jackson level shit right there. I'll tell you that much. A lot of people really aren't reading a lot of the affidavits. A lot of people aren't really looking into what the defense has to say because it's been predisposed upon them in their minds by guys like Nick Rekieta, guys like the Comicsgate people. There's some other YouTubers out there, but I'm not going to mention their names at the moment. I'll probably get into them a little bit more in another stream. Oh, you know what? I might actually go into one. If anyone's heard of a guy called That Umbrella Guy, I might actually go into a little bit more detail about him because, wow, like that guy is just he's like a Laura Loomer type, only slightly more crazier. But continuing, yeah, Caesar makes another point. Vic is a complete degenerate. Yeah, that's another thing. There seems to be this attitude that when a social justice war is degenerate, it's disgusting and moral. It's the worst thing in the world. And yeah, it is disgusting to be a degenerate. I call them out all the time. There's no reason not to call out degeneracy for what it is. But if you're right wing, then all of a sudden, these people that say, we don't want to tolerate this filth, we don't want anything to do with this sexual degeneracy, we don't want any kind of, we don't want fags, we don't want trannies, we don't want, what else is there? We want furries, etc., so on and so forth. Oh, well, Vic womanizing people, that's, and like, you know, ostensibly committing adultery, hiring prostitutes, yeah, you know, engaging in fetishistic sex with twins. Yeah, that's all. We're all cool with that. We're down with that because Vic's a man, and as a man, he's got got needs, guys, right? So it's okay when he does it, but you know, uh, he's a good Christian, by the way, too. So totally believe us. And of course, these celebs are all getting behind this message, and they're all cool with it. So continuing, Mignogna once again voice. I read that Mignogna lost a deal with a Flower Mound-based anime distribution company. Conventions began to remove him from their lineups. Thousands of enthusiasts rushed to pick a side in the social media warfare hashtag KickVic and hashtag I stand with Vic. Again, this is accurate. There's nothing really wrong with this. The fierce battle over Mignon, I cannot pronounce this guy's name. I pronounced it correctly previously, but now it's like just loses off the slip of my tongue. This fierce battle over Mignon, over Vic has become the first big test of the Me Too movement in the multi-million-dollar anime industry in America. Okay, here the article loses points. Me Too is just a hashtag movement that's really just sold under like a bill of goods. It's not. I don't think it's the correct. Like, I don't think this is accurate to just keep this thing alive. Like this, that's clearly kind of. I haven't seen any of the victims come out and use hashtag #MeToo. I haven't seen any of the accusers do that, or anyone really make this a Me Too thing. That's just added by the author. That really shouldn't be there. So on that part, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree that it is slightly slanted. So they're not. So it's not that like everything the I stand with Vic guys say is completely wrong, but realistically, this is not really that big of an error. What makes the case unusual in this area is that Mignogna is digging in and fighting back in court with a lawsuit alleging, among other things, defamation. He and his fervent fans have labeled the allegations lies, exaggerations, and ploys for attention. Some fans allegedly have harassed the accusers, posting online photos of their homes and vehicles and berating them in phone calls disguised as friends and family. Now, we can't identify if, this part happened here um, about the phone calls with friends and family. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But we can definitely confirm that, yeah, um, they have been doxing anyone against the I Stand With Nick crowd. If you speak out against Nick Rekieta, you speak in favor of the defense in this case, there's a good chance you're getting doxed. There's a good chance that you're getting your name put out there at Kiwi Farms. There's a good chance that, yeah, they will go out of their way to fuck with you because it's what they've been doing. We observe this and see it. It's out in the open. And if you go to Kiwi Farms, they're like celebrating this. They're not hiding it. Like, Nick Rekieta has Joshua Moon. He's giving, just for context here, he's giving this guy Null, news tips to post in this forum to give him more content. And this is, by the way, another problem with Kiwi Farms. I really don't honestly, Cal made this point a long time ago. I didn't get it first, but seeing this play out in action, they're correct about, or whoever made this point on Cal was correct about this. When you have a drama forum, and you have these pseudonymous accounts and names on there, and you're able to build clout, and you're able to build popularity, and give it personality, it leads to the problems you have with e-celebs, where everyone's trying to gain attention to themselves, everyone's making a big deal of things, and then it becomes a game of who can rub whose back, who can go ahead and suck whose cock, etc. In this case, Null has a lot of clout because he's the owner of Kiwi Farms, and he's a guy who stands to be a hero among the community because he's a free speech absolutist, guys. He's in favor of things like kitty porn. That's great. We love that sort of shit. And as such, as a hero, he could go ahead and just push things in a certain direction. If he's friends with Nick Rekieta, well, oh boy, Nick Rekieta is one of us, guys. Let's be nice to Nick. In fact, I think I'll pull up Nick Rekieta's thread in a second. And there's a reason I'm doing that. It's not to go ahead and, expose him. And I don't have to worry about that in doing this. Because here's the funny thing. Let's find it. Give me a sec. I'll get it up. All right, I should have had this up beforehand, but better late than never. And as you can see here, Null's going over this complaint that he's got, and it has to do with Rekieta, and some kind of legal issue he had that he could have just put on a show, but he gave to Null for some reason because why not? They're friends. Here's the funny thing about Nick Rekieta's thread. I'm not going to go into the details of any of this stuff. This stuff is all things that Nick himself has put out there, so it's not really an issue of a dox or whatever. In fact, honestly, at this point, I really don't care because the guy just seems to be openly public. But here's the thing. You see this right here. Should Nick's dox be included in the OP? Yes, it should be. No, it should not be. Now, what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that Kiwi Farms is playing favorites. Nick Rekieta is a friend of Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is a friend of Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta has thanked Kiwi Farms for their help for doing research. Ty Beard has asked for their help. I mean, this is what happens when you go ahead and you pal around these guys. You get special treatment. Anyone else would have gotten their docs on the front of the thread in Kiwi Farms. There wouldn't have been this dick suckery going on where you scratch my back, I scratch yours. This is something that would not happen on Cow because while Cow does have problems like this to a very limited degree because of the moderators, it's a very limited degree because if any of the moderators pulled this kind of shit where you couldn't dox somebody, even though you're allowed to dox everyone else under the sun for any reason and no reason at all, you wouldn't get this kind of result. It's just fascinating to me that no one's calling this shit out. It should be called out. And again, it all has to do with these accounts. Get a nice fancy account. Look at that. You can call yourself, an Apache attack helicopter or whatever. Like, make some kind of meme making fun of SJWs to like get popularity. And then you get all these little tokens. He's got likes. He's got winners. He's got some, I don't know, Semrush Phyllis. Let's see. Let's just see the full list here. Got all these people rubbing each other's cocks. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? By the way, if you're browsing Kiwi Farms and you see this particular guy right here saying anything, he's basically one of the shills for Rekieta. They'll go ahead and they'll boost whatever it is they have to say about the guy, so that way basically he stands to get ahead. Caesar said a lot in the chat. I'm not going to read all of it right now, but the last thing he said was sheep. Yeah, essentially. They don't think. They don't consider what it is that they're doing. They're just engaging in hero worship, and they just don't care. I mean, to a degree, I can understand, honestly, that why they wouldn't care, because they want to treat the internet as fun. They just want to have fun doing this stuff. But they're hypocrites at the same time. They really are. They're becoming guilty of the same problems that all these e-slips are having. Now, I should note, not all, obviously, because there's a lot of, even in this thread, there is a couple of quality posts here, and quality posts are pretty rare, so credit where it is due. And there's not people that are just all like this, that they're just blindly going after heroes. I prefer the type of person that looks into these kind of drama situations and recognizes that, I don't want to say all of them are shit, because I don't want to take like a nihilistic view on things, but all of them are human, all of them make mistakes, all of them are worthy of making fun of. That's the position that you should take. Like, if there's something you can ridicule someone over, you take it. You don't go ahead and you pull punches back or whatever. You don't go ahead and you say, oh, well, this should apply to this person, but this should apply to this other person. That's just not right. Like, I don't get. You would have to be either, if they're not being shills for these people, if they're not getting a benefit from doing this, I don't know why they do it. Other than, I guess, the fun factor. I guess it's fun for them to root for Nick Rekieta. But at the same time, I don't get why they would. He's a smug cunt. He is such a smug cunt. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he's charging people, and he's like getting a legion of pay pigs to support him. Cal would never support this shit. They would not. Cal's problems are they allow too many degenerates and they allow too much pornography. But you know what? You can filter that shit. And you know what else? That's, honestly, it's better to have that. Anyone can say whatever the fuck they want, and people are just open and honest about themselves because nobody there is collecting internet points. No one's there is just rubbing each other's shoulders or whatever. Instead, they're just going after everyone indiscriminately. Pay pigs, they get shit on. E-slips, they get shit on. And the people who have the best memes and quality, they get respected. And the people who don't, in fact, with Cal, it's the opposite. You want to get as few replies to something as possible. Whereas anywhere else, you want to get as much attention as possible. Alright, well, enough about this dumb shit. Let's go back to the article. Okay. The fierce battle over Mignogna has become the first big test of the Me Too movement. Oh, yeah. Alright, where did that paragraph? Let's go to the next one. Mignogna, meanwhile, bolstered by a GoFundMe war chest, brimming with more than 236,000 from supporters, is suing Funimation Productions, 2 female voice actors from the Dallas area, and the fiance of one of the women. That would be Jamie Marchi, I should say. Monica Rial, and Ron Toye. Why these 3 individuals in particular, I'm not sure exactly. There's any number of them they could sue. They could have sued the journalists or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. None of this is going to go through. Also, another thing I will say about this article that loses points for me is there's better photos of, Vic is not photogenic. Just going to be honest here, he's not photogenic. There's a lot of photos of him that look really bad. Like, the face, there's just something awkward about his face. I don't know what it is. I don't want, maybe he got punched once or twice there. Maybe he's just born with a birth defect. He looks like he has a bit of a cross eye there. He has this ugly nose. But they could have gotten a more flattering picture than this. Just saying, you don't have to pick like like he might be Frankenstein, but at least get Frankenstein's good face. All right, like this. Oh my gosh. I almost feel sorry for this piece of shit. I almost do. I mean, he has to, like, every day of his life, he has to look in the mirror and see that. Because this is probably his morning face. Let's just face it. He's going to look at that in the mirror. He's got to have that thing staring right back at him. And yeah, it's just, man. All right. But still, there are better pictures of Vic. I've noticed that Anime News Network does usually pick this one photo where he looks decent. This major outlet could have gone with that. So that's 2 points they have that I stand with Vic does have against this article. We'll give him that. Mignano, meanwhile, bolstered by a GoFundMe war chest brimming with more than $236,000 from supporters, is suing Funimation. Okay, we read that. Attorney Sam Johnson, who represents Jamie Marchi, one of the women named in the lawsuit, said in an interview with the Dallas Morning News that the significance of the case is even bigger than what can be put into court filings and arguments. It's the impact of the case that could have on this industry and certainly on our clients, and the broader cultural changes that and the impact a case like this has in the broader movement, he said. Okay, this is accurate reporting here by the journalist, but I don't like this response from the lawyer. Like making this into I don't care to have this be a movement of things. It's just one sex pest that needs to be dealt with, and that's it. That's basically the extent of it. And 2 con artists who are just taking advantage of this guy who's shit out of luck because he got exposed and using him for personal gain. Other than taking out the trash, this really shouldn't be looked at as a big cultural movement. It's going to have big sweeping changes on everything. It's not. We're going to continue to have scandals like this. We're going to continue to have people going, he didn't do nothing. He did everything. It's going to keep on happening. It's never going to change. It's been something that's been happening since the 90s. I buckle in, get used to it. It's not going to happen where you're going to have a big resolution to this. Funimation, owned by Sony Pictures Television, declined to speak about the defamation lawsuit, saying it does not comment on pending litigation. Okay? Now, here's a part where I mentioned earlier that Ty fucked up because he's an idiot. Here's what Ty did wrong here. Ty Beard decided to not comment on this article, which is really, really fucking weird. Why is Ty doing everything he can to make big publicity out of this? He goes ahead and makes provocative tweets to, get along with the kids and meme and dunk on his opponents. He sent Ron Toye that "we'll be in touch" tweet. He did this bizarre math. He put out this bizarre math equation out there for the public, where he said times Vic Mignogna lost. He did this stupid nerdy shit with that, and most importantly, he keeps on going on. He keeps on face camming on Nick Rekieta's show. But here, he won't respond to comment from someone who's not exactly inclined to suck his dick. Someone's not inclined to, give him a puff piece. Now, here's the thing. Maybe, just maybe, let me read this out first. Mignogna's Tyler-based attorney, Ty Beard, did not respond to repeated phone calls and email messages seeking comment for this story. An effort to reach Mignogna through a conversation booking agent was also unsuccessful. So the journalist tried multiple times and multiple avenues to try to get a hold of Mignogna or his lawyer. Ty Beard did not respond at all. Now whatever the defense says, the journalist is going to go, okay, I guess this is what's going on. It's going to put that in the piece. There's no other side to the story now because Ty decided to keep his trap shut. That's really weird. That's really bizarre. I'd like to know why Ty made this decision. Did he suspect that it would put him in a negative light from the get-go? Did he suspect that, I don't know, do you think that he'd be taken out of context or whatever? There could be any number of reasons why Ty decided to do this, but in my case, I think it was a bad call. He should have actually said something. because these other lawyers did say things. And yeah, not a good look for Vic in this article. Asked during his June 22nd deposition about the perception of some that he is a sexual assaulter, Vignana responded, there are an awful lot of fans out there who are really desperate for attention. So they make up stories about him sexually assaulting them to gain the spotlight. I'll double check for that in the deposition in a moment, probably later on the stream. But here we have like this. Here it's a case of where, like, again, this is part of the narrative that all the witnesses are lying. Really? All of them are lying? Is that what we're going with? Okay. Great. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. There's all these different people going all the way back to when he was like involved with teaching at a high school. They all made up shit. They just lied about his sexual assaults. They lied about him being a predator. They lied about him being about all this stuff. And he confirmed some of these events. He confirmed that he was cheating on his spouse, and he did assault that one chick, and then he confirmed that the story where he this one of the stories I was showing over, like the jelly bean incident. Yeah, he confirmed that as well. But they're all liars. Okay, they're all just making shit up out of nowhere, and that's just believe me, guys. Okay, like you're not gonna get this from anyone else. Like, Medicare is content on being friends with Nick Rekieta because Nick Rekieta is entertaining, and Medicare is gonna go with whoever's the coolest kid in the block at the moment. Like, we saw him do this with Andy Worski, JF, Tonka Saw. They were hot shit once upon a time, so he's like, hey guys, I'm gonna roll with you for a bit. And then once they started getting cringy, he backed off. Ralph, he's slime, the Gunt Man. He's not gonna talk about this because he still wants Rekieta on the show. He wants to be friends. He wants to be Trump. I'm friends with everybody. That's his attitude he's gonna take. So that's the Ralph retort for you. Who else we got? Who else would be bothered with this shit? Though, well, he's married to Nick Rekieta at this point. That's gonna work out beautifully for him in the long run. What else is there? Coach Red Pill appeals to incels as his audience, so he's not gonna go ahead and say anything about this. Because all the incels are going to believe, yes, all the women are liars because women naturally lie. Like, for example, they all lie when they call us a bunch of misogynists. Like, that is such lying behavior of those damn women. Who else? Who's left? I honestly don't know who's going to be talking about like that's the thing. Like, I thought the standard was that lol suits were cringy as fuck, and anyone who goes ahead and says anything about it and tries to pull one should be laughed off the internet. But apparently, if you're charismatic enough, you can get away with it because there are no standards. And I guess asking for consistency from trolls is a mistake. No, that's not it, because trolls can act consistently. And in fact, it doesn't even matter if trolls act consistently or inconsistently. That's not what we're dealing with here. That's not the animal. Now, the Plate Gang are trolls. These guys are e-celebs. And actually, some of the Plate Gang are e-celebs themselves, but that's another story. These e-celebs, they want and fester and feed on attention by any means necessary. They don't give a shit that they're hypocrites. They don't give a shit that they're lying. They don't give a shit that they're stealing. They just want attention, as much of it as possible. And by extension, and in this game, I don't even have to say fame and money, because fame is money. That's just the reality of it. The more popular you are, the more money you're going to get. The more money you get, the more popular you'll be. In fact, I'm going to say that was a mistake of Jim. Jim should have never done I got more numbers than you, Sargon. I got more numbers than you, V. Oh, no one's going to show up for this stream, that guy. I mean, yeah, it did piss off the skeptics that was saying that. But now everyone's doing that. no one really got that. That wasn't really a bragging point. It was a point to go ahead and just say, hey, fuck you and your bullshit statistics. You know, the only one who got that right, I think, was actually, oddly enough, Teal2. He said he never gives a shit about the numbers, and he's correct for saying that. And I do believe, and I do think Jim, like, in Jim's case, I don't think he did that. I don't think he's become a whore in that sense. Because he has said, and I still think he believes that, even if one person is watching, you should still keep on doing what you're doing. And yeah, more people should take that attitude, because I'm sick of this idea that if it's popular, it's good. If it gets results, it's good. I mean, okay. I mean, if that was the case, then all I'd be doing here is just all I'd be doing is just trying to cozy up to Nick Rekieta, suck his dick, and go ahead and try to work with him to go ahead and give myself more exposure, make myself more famous. All right, so reading on that rent. Okay, the Kick Vic chorus begins. All three individuals targeted in Mignogna's lawsuit were among the scores of anime talent and fans who, beginning early this year, tweeted critically about the actor's behavior. The intense fallout developed around a single anonymous tweet from some user who cares, posted January 16th, the same day Dragon Ball Broly opened in the US, or Dragon Ball Super Broly, I should say. The tweet said Mignogna was homophobic, rude asshole who has been creepy to underage female fans for over 10 years, which is accurate. Like, there's plenty of videos out there where Vic's kissing girls that are 14, 15. Like, you can just look this up. Just look, Vic Mignogna kissed me. There are numerous videos where he's kissing these young girls. This guy's in his 50s. What the fuck? I mean, what is a 50-year-old guy who doesn't know these girls, who has no relation to them? So it's not a cute, grandpa, granddaughter moment. This is not a cute uncle, niece moment, or shit like that. This isn't some kind of sentimental kind of thing. This is a stranger who that nobody knows about going ahead, grabbing and kissing young girls. And by young girls, I mean less than 18. Why are we defending this guy again? Just why? Do you want me to let me just get one of those clip videos up right now. Let me see. Let's see right here. Let's see if I can get that up. Is that the right one? Did she take it down? Could have been taken down. Okay, here's one. Now this one doesn't show the context here. I may play some of them later. You should have had this up beforehand, but you can go look it up. Trust me on that one. And if you read the affidavits, yeah, that's in there too. But no, but they're asking for it. They want it. They can consent to such things because they're little girls, and little girls can consent to this kind of touching and stuff. No, get fucked. Like, seriously, what are we dealing with here? Like, I don't get that. I just don't get it. I mean, I don't think that most of the I Stand With Vic people are evil or malicious. I don't. I think most people that pay attention. Hello, Nicholas. I think most people that pay attention to this are hoodwinked by these e-celebs that go ahead and tell them that, yeah, Nick's a really good guy. They have this charismatic way of talking. Most of the people that are on I Stand With Vic, not all of them, but most of them are young. I'm thinking that the average range is their early 20s. That's just based on my experience talking with them, looking at their profiles on Twitter, etc. I don't think they're bad people. I don't think the people donating are bad people. I think that they're ripped off. I think they're scammed and they're conned out of money, and they end up supporting shit like this. And honestly, if people wanted to believe this in their heart of hearts that he was a good guy, that'd be one thing. But people are getting ripped off. They're being lied to. They're being told this is more than a slap suit, which it is. It 100% fucking is a slap suit. And it's disgusting. It is utterly disgusting that we have to deal with these liars, that these frauds, and that they continue to perpetuate and exist. They continue to spread lies. They continue to spread dumb shit that's made up about the law, and they get money for it. Lots and lots of money for it. All right, back to the article. Okay, a couple more comments from chat. I stand with Vic. I believe a person is innocent until proven guilty. I think that Rekieta is doing a decent job at helping. I'm going to get a bit more on Rekieta a bit, but the thing about Vic is that, like, how do you explain how dozens of accusers have come forward, like, not even accusers, dozens of witnesses that have been to these events, that have been confirmed to be at those locations, independently, that have known Vic at various points in his life, went ahead and came out with these and testified that, yeah, this guy sexually assaulted me, or yeah, this guy was sexually assaulting this woman, etc. Like, am I supposed to believe this was a conspiracy in the making for like the past 30 years? Or am I supposed to believe that these people just all of a sudden decided to get on this bandwagon, and all of them got targeted by these people who are making these hit piece videos, these articles, taking their names and damaging their reputations, etc. Evidence seems to be piling up that most of this was made up. No, I respectfully disagree. That's not the case at all. Like, I see the arguments that they're making. Like, oh, well, you can't believe this guy because he was arrested once for a false police report. Purposefully leaving out the fact that the guy that they're talking about was exonerated from the crime. The case was dismissed. So the guy doesn't have a history of lying like they're trying to make it out to be. And even if the guy did lie about that false police report, which he didn't, then what does that have to do with it? Like, what does it have to do with the case? He lied about this one instance with everything he has to say is a lie. And there's also this, like, and they also do this other weird song and dance, like, oh, well, you know, like, I've had to actually explain to a guy that the First Amendment does apply in Texas. This actually happened. This is an actual argument I had with a guy on Twitter about this. I see people like saying these things. Marshy's a disgusting hypocrite. There's a bunch of shit on Real. I mean, again, it's like, okay, Marshy's like story was proven true. Like, Vic confirmed it. Like, what is she lying about again? What's the shit on Real? Like, I don't get how this stuff is going to prove that Vic Mignon is innocent or a good boy. And besides, a guy like, and besides, if you take a look at Vic's behavior before the lawsuit, when the scandal was happening, and afterwards, it's a very big contrast between those two things. Very big one. That was when he had hired a PR team that failed at its job, and then he got Nick and friends, which, by the way, here's a thought. This is going to be a bit tinfoil hatty, so highly speculative. Take this with a pinch of salt. What are the odds that this PR team that Vic Mignogna hired wasn't as dumb as they come off? What if this PR team was savvy and they realized that old traditional forms of media and communication aren't really the way to go? What do I mean by this? Well, I see a bunch of YouTubers. I mentioned before, they're very outspoken, they're very, very adamantly pro-Vic. What if you could subtly influence them? Go ahead, have a few guys at keyboards contacting them, feeding them information, passing this stuff along. Tell them, hey, here's some good talking points you can use. Oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that as well. Maybe they gave Nick Rekieta a few dollars under the table. Nick Rekieta's not going to disclose anything. He's not dumb. He's not going to go ahead and come out and say, yeah, I was paid to do this. Who cares? You just transfer it to some wire transfers. Maybe his wife takes it out, takes the money out. Now, of course, that's a conspiracy. It's very high-flung and speculative, but you look at these patterns of these people, you notice what they do. They all reiterate the same talking points. They all reiterate the same kind of narratives, the faulty logic they use, the kinds of dumb shit they say. Like I swear, it doesn't. It leads one to conclude that maybe, yeah, there are narratives being spun like this, and like the right loves to go ahead and say the left is always doing this, which is true. The left does do that. The left does go ahead and they try to play games, try to subvert people with this stuff. But you know what else? The right says a lot of bullshit too, and oh, but aren't you a very big right winger about this stuff? Well, yeah, but I don't know what to call this other set faction, like the not right, the fake right, the quote unquote right, whichever way you want to phrase it. I don't get how this cannot be seen. Like, I just don't get it. Let's see. Also, Nicholas, were you the guy who I think of someone else, or were you the guy who posted a comment in my last video about the stream? Because if so, I actually no. Let me just put the offer out there. If you'd like to come on and explain your position, I'm more than happy to have someone from the I Stand With Dick crowd on, because I don't hate the I Stand With Dick's position. I don't even detest them or dislike them. I just think most of them, the vast majority of them, have been hoodwinked and lied to. Like, in all honesty. That's what I think happened. So hearing their side of this, I think is important. All right. So continuing. The tweet was reposted more than 4,000 times and prompted more than 400 comments, including from some who shared their own uncomfortable accounts with the voice actor. Yep, this is true. The kick Vic chorus had begun. Years of whispers had finally culminated in outcries. Yeah, there is something to be said about this kick Vic stuff that is a concern. Having the power to decide whether or not someone can attend a convention or not, because not all the allegations against Vic are legitimate. Like, Vic doesn't like to sign gay porn. Like, we can be cute and call it yaoi or whatever, but Vic doesn't want to sign content that features men engaging in sexual activities with other men. That's not a good reason to kick him out of a con. I don't care what your politics are, that's not a good reason to kick him out. It's just retarded. The guy doesn't want to put his name to that shit. He doesn't have to put his name to that shit. He can respectfully decline, like he has in the past. And there's some people who don't like Vic, because he preaches Christian values. That's also retarded. Like, I don't see this guy really imposing his beliefs on people. Yeah, like the bake the cake stuff. Like, that's honestly a criticism for the kick Vic side. I don't see it as a good reason to kick someone out. I mean, they wanted to kick out Ted Nepal, Doug, the creator of Earthworm Jim, at these conventions, because he's also been saying things that are very Christian in nature, like, hey, you know what? Men are men, women are women. There's two genders. No, you shouldn't be able to kick someone out because they oppose degeneracy. That's stupid. I mean, kicking them out because he sexually assaults women, because that's different story. Because he's a creep, etc. That's a different story. This shit with but this other shit that's liberal shit, no. It's dumb. Alright, continuing. Where was I? Oh, there's also one more point I wanted to address. This whole innocent until proven guilty thing. I am so sick of that meme. And I'm calling it a meme because of this. Because the meme isn't innocent until proven guilty. Because you're never going to have 1,000% prove anything. You can always come up with an argument to suggest, well, maybe the evidence isn't really saying what you think it is. Like, if you look down a rabbit hole, you can go down forever. It's turtles all the way down. You could easily do this with any fucking thing. That's why the full phrase is, innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's that part that people leave out, beyond a reasonable doubt.
To presume that all the witnesses over the decades, all of them, are lying about all this is not reasonable. It is not a reasonable conclusion to say that every single one of them presumably are all lying. Not just the defendants, by the way, because they always like to highlight the defendants, but there's other people like the security guard, the two girls he had in that hotel that said that Vic kissed me without my consent. The woman who says that Vic sexually assaulted her while he was teaching at a high school, etc. Like, they're saying that all those people are liars. They just all made that shit up. They're all bullshitting. It's not reasonable to say that that's the conclusion. None of them are telling the truth. Unless you can prove there's a conspiracy involving all these people, like, even if you give me strong evidence that all these people are linked somewhere in a Discord hiding out and doing this shit, why should I believe that? If you can convince me on that, maybe then I'll say, okay, you know what? Maybe Vic didn't do all this shit. If you can sell me on that point, go ahead. But honestly, I don't like to live in Crazyville. I like to live in a world where we say, oh, Michael Jackson did do nothing because Razorfist made a cool video about him. Michael Jackson admitted to having underage kids in his bedroom, and he said it was a loving relationship. I'm supposed to take that to mean that, yeah, he was just being fatherly to these random nobodies that he didn't know. These kids whose parents, like, by the way, the parents took money from Michael Jackson. No, the kids didn't decide. The victims didn't decide, oh yeah, we'll hush up if you give them the money, like some of them did, which is dumb, which is stupid. If you take that kind of deal, you're a retard. You should always come out about this stuff. Like, if someone's going ahead and abusing you, you should always come out right away with it. Like, that's something people don't want to hear, but it's true. Like, the reason why people get away with this shit is because the victims don't speak out right away. And then, of course, you come out with all these excuses of doubt and shit like that. So you can't really go after them. There's no doubt in my mind that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. None. That's why the documentary came out. People aren't going, well, in a court of law, he was exonerated, guys. Like, the court of law said that he was innocent because they couldn't prove it, guys. No one's saying that dumb shit. Like, they took that, like, he paid them off. Michael Jackson paid people to shut the fuck up about it. Because he raped those kids, and he knows it. Or he knew it while he was alive. I don't feel sorry that he's dead. I'm glad that guy can't hurt anyone else ever again. Frankly, you should be too. And if we're going to go down this route that, like, oh, well, you need videotape evidence in order to prove someone's guilty of rape or whatever, then I don't want to hear about either Clinton, about any of their crimes. I don't want to hear about any allegations against Trump or Jeffrey Epstein. Like, hey, all the people involved with that case could be lying. Yet I don't see anyone making that defense. Harry Weinstein. In fact, just about any criminal behavior in history that wasn't caught on camera, you could make this kind of retarded excuse for. I'm not living in that insane clown world that these East Libs want to present to you as, like, legitimate. Okay. Moving on from there. I don't know if I'll read this whole thing because some other important shit I want to get to. I might finish this other half tomorrow. Let me just check a couple things. There's one thing I want to get to tonight before I wrap this up. It's on Nick himself. Okay. So I'm gonna skip to this part. I'll continue reading this tomorrow night. And then I'll go on to some other stuff the next night. I want to go into some more interesting material before I close things down. I don't want this to be a super long stream. I don't really like doing those that much. A GoFundMe account opened by Minnesota lawyer Nick Rekieta is helping to pay for the voice actor's legal fight. Mignogna, who said his deposition that he did not previously know Rekieta, and also stated that it was Rekieta who suggested that he hire Beard as his attorney. Mignogna's lawsuit filed April 18th in Tarrant County alleges defamation, tortious interference, and other charges against Real, Toye, Marchi, and Funimation. During one of Rekieta's many online commentaries, he explained his motives for pushing for the lawsuit. The biggest one is I just don't care, don't like any of the defendants, and I think they're terrible people, and I want to see them ground into dust. Because when you lie and to take away man's livelihood, you deserve to be ground into dust. Okay, that's got to be taken out of context, right? Right, gang? Can't be the case that he'd say something like that, because that would just mean that he wants to ruin them to keep them silent about a certain topic, or that would be the implication if he couldn't prove that they were lying, right? Right?
Rekieta can testify to his motives in creating the GoFundMe war chest. Again, there are hundreds of hours of video of my motives for contributing to the GoFundMe war chest, of creating it, not contributing to it. The biggest one is I just don't like any of the defendants, and I think they're terrible people. And I want to see them ground into dust. Because when you lie to take away a man's livelihood, you deserve to be ground into dust. You are scum and you know it. That's why I created it. Because I'm so sick of seeing it happen, and people have tried to do it to me.
Well, that sounded like it was even worse in context, doesn't it? Like, now, here's the thing. Nick Rekieta better hope to God Almighty that he has proof that will cause that the defendants knowingly lied about Vic Mignogna. Because if he can prove that, if he can prove that the people that he's suing specifically knowingly lied about what they said about him, then yeah, everything I said the stream was bullshit, and he wins. Because yeah, people who lie like that do deserve to be ground to dust. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. The problem is he hasn't been able to do that. He hasn't. And when he says that, oh well, and like Caesar points out, it's not a good look. No, it's very spurgy, it's very ranty, it's very high pitched and angry. What people got to take away from it. He wants these women who've spoken out to be ground to dust. The optics are terrible on that. Absolutely terrible. And that's going to hurt Nick a lot in the long run. Nick's not going to be able to get away with this forever. That's the one silver lining about this. Nick has a short, limited lifespan. I don't know how long that's going to be. It might be until after this current election cycle, because he's going to transition from this into more politically driven news. He's going to go from the small chicken shit, culture war shit, which, by the way, this pattern should be familiar. He's going to go from there into supporting Trump, which, I mean, I'll talk a bit more about Trump, because honestly, I've been very critical about Trump in this stream, and I don't think that was the correct call there for a number of reasons. But this is really about which candidate Nick Rekieta or I support. It's a matter of the case that his direction will be going more political as the election cycle grows, because that is where the media goes to during the election cycle. And we're in it currently, and we're going to go more into it as time goes on. So this is Nick. That's Nick's little rant there. That means that our quoted accurately on that. But what was Nick's response? Because Nick had some interesting things to say on Twitter. Was it this one I wanted? Not that one. Oh, okay. It's this one. Okay, so the interesting thing, the first. Hang on a second. Let me just go find it. All right. Here it is. And I apologize for not having that up first. But hey, at least it wasn't more dead air. Hey, Dallas News. You may want to ask me for comment before writing you write your article. Okay, Nick. I know you're good at analyzing word structure and shit like that, because you criticize people for on your streams. But what's with the sentence? Hey, Dallas, you may want to ask me for a comment before writing your... The sentence is just awful. Hey, Dallas News, you may want to ask me for a comment before you write your article. Okay, I'm retarded. I just can't read. In a way to suggest that I said something that someone else said. You never spoke to me or even asked. Shoddy work. And now, so what happened here? Because the original article said something different. We'll just go back to the article a bit. Let's see. Update at 4 p.m. August 3rd to clarify that it was Mignogna, not Rekieta, who said the two did not know each other before the establishment of the GoFundMe account, and that Rekieta suggested he hire Tiberius. So there's a clarification that was given by the journalist. Okay, let's go back to that. How did that play out? How did that play out exactly? Okay, so this is a tweet from the journalist here. I'll read this first. I corrected this sentence to attribute to Mr. Mignogna, not you. And then she reads out the sentence. And Rekieta responds with, no, the correct attribution of the statement is all I want. Thank you, but I'm not in the business of speaking for Vic, because she also requested for comment from him at that point. Thank you, but I'm not in the business of speaking for Vic Mignogna, despite what you may have heard from your very accurate sources. But Nick, you and Mignogna, seem not to agree with the course of events that happened. And also, there's also some other weird things about this, because this is a question that was asked of him by this guy who's critical of the whole Vic shit. Just spitballing here, what information did he know about GoFundMe? When did he know it? What information did he know? Did he nurture it because public knowledge? Did he ever make that information knowingly, not publicly? I think he refers to Vic. Yeah, this is after this position comes out. And Rekieta responds with, I made the GoFundMe of my own volition. I've stated it over and over again. So, yeah, it's true that, Mignogna is being attributed, that the author mistakenly attributed statements to Nick, that were from Mignogna, but it's also the reality. Nick Rekieta did make the GoFundMe all on his lonesome. He didn't consult Vic before doing it. He just decided to up and go ahead and go, I'm going to fund this thing. Now let's think about that for a second. He didn't ask Vic if he wanted legal funds, but he told people to go donate to it. What would he have done if Vic said, you know what, I don't want to sue these people. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I'm just going to go do my own thing. What would Nick have done then? What was Nick's out for that? Would he have refunded the money? I'm going to press X to doubt. I'm going to say that he would not have refunded that money. I'm going to say that Nick probably would have taken it all the way to the bank. Just, for sure. Yeah. Let's see what else. But, that would be the case, would it? I mean, Nick himself wouldn't kind of semi-confirm that, would he? I mean, this is back on, February 19th, day after he started the GoFundMe. Someone asks him, I mean, I get the criticism. How many Kickstarters made for a person for cause have been frauds, especially when someone else is making it, but still has this edge of fuck Vic to it, referring to a criticism up above. And Rekieta responds with, I would be risking my law license to run a fraudulent GoFundMe for someone I've never met. That seems silly. Nick, you published this. You typed this out, and you pressed tweet. You took the time to write this. What the fuck is wrong with you? Didn't you say to someone recently, I know you are stupid, don't be stupid? What is this shit right here? We go back to this tweet here. Oh, it's not a good look, Nick. It's not. Just does seem rather silly that, you go ahead and do something like this. Just saying. Big oof there. Something else. Okay, so Nick's not done complaining about the article, though. Because we have this galaxy brain take here that changes our perspective on the universe, life itself, and everything. I would like to have one more correction. You actually misrepresented me. I did not say it was... I did not say it was why I pushed the lawsuit. I said it was why I created the GoFundMe. I know the person who gave you that tweet wanted me to say it, but that person is a liar. Correct it immediately. What are you going to do, Nick? Are you going to sue Dallas News if they don't comply? Is that your end game there? Because this is fucking retarded, Nick. The lawsuit and the GoFundMe are one, and the funding of the GoFundMe and the funding of the lawsuit, the pushing of the lawsuit and the pushing of the GoFundMe is the funding has the same result. The same result is this.
Rekieta can testify to his motives in creating the GoFundMe war chest. Again, there are hundreds of hours of video of my motives for contributing to the GoFundMe war chest, of creating it, not contributing to it. The biggest one is I just don't like any of the defendants, and I think they're terrible people. And I want to see them ground into dust. Because when you lie to take away a man's livelihood, you deserve to be ground into dust. You are scum and you know it. That's why I created it. Because I'm so sick of seeing it happen, and people have tried to do it to me.
There you go. Yeah. So when Nick says this, when he says that he's being misrepresented here because I did not say it was I pushed the lawsuit, I said it was why I created the GoFundMe. It doesn't matter at all. This pedantic thing, which the journals go ahead and just update this. I don't really care if he does or not. Because in order to ground your people to dust with the GoFundMe, you have to be using the GoFundMe, like I'm metaphorically speaking. The only way this makes sense in reality, because I don't believe that Nick is dumb enough to imply that he has a bone grinding machine in his backyard that he wants to throw Ron Toye into, like a giant wood chipper type device. Though that would be funny. I don't think he means to imply that. So the only way this makes sense, that you can use a GoFundMe to ground someone to dust, is if you're going to sue them to death. That is it. So, yeah, Nick, you're full of shit here as usual. And you're going to play this victim game. You're going to cry and whine about it. Because there's going to be more news pieces about this, because there always is. You're going to say and they're going to go ahead and milk it for every penny it's worth. And they're going to ask you to go ahead and pay for this shit. All right. Ultra Mega Anon says JK isn't always right on the details, but his hunch is never far from the truth. Fair comment. Honestly, probably more fair analysis than I would give myself, because yeah, I've been wrong a number of times before, and yeah, so okay. So, oh yeah, another thing. The GoFundMe is Caesar the Ape says the GoFundMe is a weapon, malicious intent. Vic is suing them. Vic is not getting sued. Yeah, that's another thing. I wonder if I still have that tweet up or not. Because, all right, let me see if I can find it. Because it was an interesting tweet. Because, all right, so I had a guy come on. I have nothing against that guy who came on, for the record. I think that guy was honest. He was just wrong. But he made a point that he made a point, initial point that really failed about like how defense, about the lawsuit. Now, let me get the. Let me just see if I can find the tweet first. If I can't find it, I'll have to show it tomorrow night. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's go. Did he start deleting tweets now? No, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's see. All right, I know I saw this tweet. I thought I had it in one of these tabs here, but okay. see here. Okay. I swear there will be less boomer moments in the upcoming stream. Not going to be cursed doing this every night. All right, let me just see what the chat say real quick. Probably nothing good. The Asperger's in your voice quells me. Okay. Can't really say anything more than that about that. All right. I know he said a particular line about something that should have been updated. Okay. If I have to show it tomorrow night, I'll show it tomorrow night, but I really hope I can show it now. A second. I might try one more thing. How about that? Can't seem to find it. I just want to try one more thing. This will get it up. Okay, I got it. Finally got it. Okay, so this definitely should have been up in the first place, but better late than never. All right. So this guy says, and now Doucette is suggesting the GFM was wire fraud. How embarrassing. Strong possibility of that, by the way. Ricada says, except the GoFundMe accurately describes the process and is not deceptive in any way. Not deceptive in any way. This is, by the way, bullshit. Legal defense funds, if we're being pedantic, are also often both offensive and defensive in nature. This guy is seriously an idiot. This is something Nick, again, he types these, like, Nick is better at telling these kinds of dumb lies when he's on camera, speaking to a mic, and pulling a show. When he's writing on Twitter, he has none of the personality, he has none of the charisma, and he has none of the advantages he has when he's on stream, on camera, doing a shtick. When he's here, his lies are very transparent. Legal defense does not include suing someone. That's retarded. Nick, you're a lawyer. You're talking about very technical terms here. There's just no getting around this. They don't include both offensive and defensive. Like, you just made that shit up. Okay? Like, it's not being pedantic. That part is fraudulent. You should fix that. You should update your GoFundMe. I've told you about this. I've sent you messages on Twitter telling you that this is dumb. You have the option to edit it and remove that line. You could remove that one line and fix that problem, and you made your GoFundMe a little more honest, like 1% more honest. It's still 99% dishonest because this is a funding of a slap suit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation. But at least you're not telling them that it's for defense. So you won't have idiots on Twitter saying that Vic isn't the plaintiff or Vic is the defense. Just retarded. What do we like? Nick is making people dumber with his legal explanations. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap things up at this point. Okay, I know Caesar said a bunch of stuff on this, but I'm not gonna read it all. I hope you don't mind that. But Francis does. I'll read the last few comments here. Francis says, "Do you know what a consult is?" I don't know if Nick. I think Nick understands these terms. I don't think Nick's an idiot. At least not most of the time. I think Nick is okay. No, let me put it this way. I know based on the way that Nick acts and the way that Nick operates and the way that Nick spouts bullshit, that he is lying to people. So he knows the terminology. He knows the game. He's not dumb. He went to law school and he had more college besides that. The guy knows the stuff. The reason he gets things wrong is because it's on purpose, it's deliberate, and he will keep on doing it so long as he can get more moolah. And I'm going to end this. And if anybody from I Stand With Vic is listening to this, I'm going to ask him this. I've asked him this a lot of times, and I haven't gotten a good explanation from it. Actually, I'm going to ask him a few questions. One, where's the money going? Does anyone know? Does anyone know where this GoFundMe money is going? Oh, it's going to Ty Beard. No, you can't give me that answer. You have to tell me how Ty Beard is spending the money he's getting from the GoFundMe. You can deduct 10% away from it because that's GoFundMe's cut. But after that, and maybe there's some taxes you can throw in there if you're savvy enough. But after that, you have to tell me how that money's being spent. 2, why was a friend of Vic Mignogna paid as a consultant? A hairdresser that Ty Beard said that he paid. Why was she paid? And was this money being paid with the GoFundMe war chest? 3, Vic Mignogna has said over and over again he has no knowledge of where the money's going. He doesn't know what's going on with the money. He said this in a deposition. He said this under oath. If that is the case, the question then becomes, where will the money go? How is the money being put into an IOLTA account in his name? Does this make sense to anyone? Does this make sense to anyone listening? Because for those who don't know what an IOLTA is, it's an account where your money is put into like a savings account, and that money is then handled under a legal, very legal procedures. I'll go into more detail on that in the next stream because it needs to go into more detail of this. If Vic Mignogna did not authorize this, if these funds were never in Vic Mignogna's, and Ty Beard's just stuffing that into an account without Vic Mignogna's authorization, that is definitionally wire fraud. Yeah, exactly, Francis. Only Nick knows. I don't even know. Only Nick would know that. Only Nick and Ty. And we have to take the word on everything. Of course, Nick will tell you, I don't get a red cent. This is how GoFundMe works. There's nothing. That's bullshit. There's nothing preventing the slush fund from being spread around for the other people in that network. We already have evidence of this by Ty Beard admitting that he paid a personal friend of Vic Mignogna's. So we can't trust them that this money is going where they say it is. There's no transparency. There's no disclosure of funds. And whenever anyone calls them out, and whenever anyone tries to question Nick on this, oh, it's confidential, it's procedural, we can't go into details about it, despite on the GoFundMe saying that there would be updates to all this shit. So, yeah, I want people on I Stand With Vic to tell me where the money's going. Final question. Why does he need any more money? Like, $250,000. $250,000. Where's it going? Why do you need more than that for this case? Do you really believe that there's going to be 8 waves of lawsuits and you're going to sue Sony? If you believe that, I have a feeling like I'm almost tempted to just go full. I'm really, really tempted to just go full merchant on that one and just tell everyone, hey, you know what? I got a pick and a poke to sell you. Just saying. It's real tempting to be evil in this kind of environment. It's really tempting to just go full greed and just start bullshitting people and getting money off that way. I guess I'm just too, I guess I'm too principled for that. Or, I just don't make my money off this shit, so I don't have to worry about that dumb shit. All right, that's enough ranting for one night. I'll do another stream tomorrow night. I do have one more thing for you guys tonight before I close things out, so I'm going to talk just a little bit more while I get that up. Okay, so just find it real quick. Okay, so we'll be back. When we do, we're gonna dig more into Vic, Nick, and Ty, and we're gonna talk some more about all 3 of them. Caesar the Ape speculates that the money's going to Bitcoins, that it vanished. And he also points out that Vic is a millionaire. Yeah, Vic is a millionaire. He doesn't need the fucking money from you people. He can fund his own goddamn lawsuit. He wants to get $1 to $5 million. He can pay $500,000 for that. Go ahead, go get $500,000 profit to $4.5 million profit. He wants to do that. He thinks he has a case. He wants to fund his own lawsuit. It wouldn't matter at that point anything I have to say. It wouldn't matter at that point what anyone in the world has to say. Vic would pass or fail on his own merits at that point, and the merits of his own lawyer, and he'd probably get a better lawyer out of the deal. Just saying. In fact, I think I might make. Give me 1 second. All right. So, as I said, I'll be back tomorrow night. Not this time. Probably earlier. I'm going to shoot for 7 again. I'm not promising 7. I'm just saying I'm going to set it for 7, and it might be later than that. That's the best I can tell you. But I will do the stream. I'll do another stream tomorrow. You'll have my word on that. Anyway, I'm going to let this video play us out, and peace the fuck out.
Have you ever stated to anyone that you, in the last 10 years, that you hired prostitutes or escorts?
I have.
And who would you have said that to?
Oh, I don't remember who I said it to. I thought you were asking me if I ever have.